Test automation is crucial for continuous integration. You cannot test in Agile without automation.
I don't think we can deliver features in high quality and on time without using test automation.
You can give the QA engineer the ability to work and to focus in the real stuff, in the real scenarios.
The automation allowed us to explore new ways of testing.
The crucial success factor in today's agile environment is automated testing.
When you work in Agile, you work in very short sprints. You get a lot of changes, you're expected to test everything within the sprint, and you have to give the feedback yesterday.
There are so many changes within the code and the functionality that we have to do regression testing constantly. And this is time-consuming.
My team changes code all the time. How do I make sure that what used to work is working now as well?
Something was missing. Something we didn't do correctly.
We delivered more content, but the quality dropped. We needed something or someone to keep on helping us raising the quality.
The answer was to change the way we work so far by introducing the multi-layer automation. It was an amazing change to the way we work so far.
The idea was to introduce a new way of thinking, to start automating as soon as possible, even as early as the design phase.
We decided to increase the amount of automated testing that we're going to be doing. We're going to go full-blown automated. There were some concerns about this.
My first reaction was ambivalent. I need to invest in one more person or group to teach them and to give them a huge ramp up.
I'm supposed to deliver a release in 2 months from now, and I don't have enough people to do all the manual testing, so how can I live without 2 additional engineers?
We had a major concern with the maintenance of automation.
It seemed like a major risk to replace the tester within the automation test.
Although we had some concerns, we decided to give it a chance.
So if you ask me what to automate, I would say pretty close to everything. Question which is pretty relevant is, what do you automate first? I think anything to do with the API, with the parts of the system that don't have the user interface.
Environment installation. Running the build at night, so you'll be able to come in the morning and the environment will be ready to use.
Our goal was to improve the build quality, and we started with continuous integration, following by new content automation. We started with the automatic installation and configuration for the nightly builds, and then we added more content from the regression of older sprints and the new content of the current sprint. And then we had to support new features. In this area, we started coding the automation suite as soon as the developer started coding his feature. This enabled us to have the full test results as soon as the developer finished his coding.
Our developers and our testers have to be in harmony. They have to be working together very early on in the project.
The first stage was the planning phase. So developers, testers, automation engineers got into one room and planned the sprint together. Worked on the content, user stories, the tests and the test cases for automation.
We encourage our testers to integrate with the system at the lower levels, at the API levels, and when the UI becomes available, then they can start building additional tests based around the user interface.
The idea is to start automating as soon as possible, and then when the code is ready, you can already start testing.
We can find out the bugs, we can find out the defects as early as possible, and of course we can fix them as early as possible. And we all know that the earlier we fix a bug, the cheaper it is to fix it.
We use Quality Center as a single repository for all the tests. The test runs and the defects that we found from these test runs. Using one product and one platform for all this information really accelerated the project because everybody could see what they needed, whether it's tests or defects or runs, and everybody could use and reuse the test assets that were written.
Each project has its own metrics depending on the goal.
One of the key factors to our success here is the use of continuous integration, continuous testing and continuous monitoring of the status of our systems. We collect a lot of metrics around the tests and around the code. We check code coverage, we check test coverage. We like to know where we stand in terms of quality at every step of the project.
I let the automation team be involved in what I do, and I'm being involved in what the automation team does. It's not two teams now, it's one team going for a common goal. I'm very content with the position we are in now. We get faster features with better quality.
I get feedback for my defects at day one of development.
We actually know every day if the build is stable or not, if we have regressions in the build or not. Yeah, definitely. Life is much more easier now.
Working together helps the engineers to become more involved in the release itself.
The group is working a lot more as a team rather than having QA separately and the development separately.
Today, working in agile mode without automation it would be anti-productive. It will not be coherent, it will not be efficient.
In this release, we've been able to overcome almost all of those problems by testing early and encouraging a far higher use of automation in testing.